Hadīth 1. Narrated Sahal bin Sa'id, a tumbler, full of milk or water, was brought to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who drank from it, while on his right side there was sitting a boy who was the youngest of those who were present, and on his left side there were old men. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked, O boy, will you allow me to give it, that is, the rest of the drink, to the old men? The boy said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. I will not give preference to anyone over me to drink the rest of it from which you have drunk. So, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, gave it to him. Hadīth 2. Narrated Az-Zuhri, Anas bin Malik said, that once a domestic sheep was milked for Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, while he was in the house of Anas bin Malik. The milk was mixed with water drawn from the well in Anas's house. A tumbler of it was presented to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, who drank from it. Then Abu Bakr was sitting on his left side and a Bedouin on his right side. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, removed the tumbler from his mouth, Umar was afraid that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, might give it to the Bedouin, so he said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Give it to Abu Bakr who is sitting by your side. But the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, gave it to the Bedouin, who was to his right and said, You should start with the one on your right side. Hadīth 3. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Do not withhold the superfluous water, for that will prevent people from grazing their cattle. Hadīth 4. Narrated Abu Hurairah that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Do not withhold the superfluous water in order to withhold the superfluous grass. Hadīth 5. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, No blood money will be charged if somebody dies in a mine or in a well or is killed by an animal, and if somebody finds a treasure in his land, he has to give 1/5 of it to the government. Hadīth 6. Narrated Abdullāh bin Mas'ud, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Whoever takes a false oath to deprive somebody of his property will meet Allah while he will be angry with him. Allah revealed, Verily those who purchase a little gain at the cost of Allah's covenant, and their oaths. Surah 3, Ayah 77. Al-Ash'ath came to the place where Abdullāh was narrating, and said, What has Abu Abdur-Rahman, that is, Abdullāh, been telling you? This verse was revealed concerning me. I had a well in the land of a cousin of mine. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked me to bring witnesses, to confirm my claim. I said, I don't have witnesses. He said, Let the defendant take an oath then. I said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. He will take a false oath immediately. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, mentioned the above narration and Allah revealed the verse to confirm what he had said. Hadīth 7. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, There are 3 persons whom Allah will not look at on the day of resurrection, nor will he purify them, and there shall be a severe punishment. They are, 1, a man who possessed superfluous water on a way, and he withheld it from travelers. 2, a man who gave a pledge of allegiance to a ruler and he gave it only for worldly benefits. If the ruler gives him something he gets satisfied, and if the ruler withholds something from him, he gets dissatisfied. 3, and a man who displayed his goods for sale after the Asr prayer and he said, By Allah, except whom none has the right to be worshipped, I have been given so much for my goods, and somebody believes him, and buys them. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then recited, Verily, those who purchase a little gain at the cost of Allah's covenant and their oaths. Hadīth 8. Narrated Abdullāh bin Az-Zubayr, an Ansari man quarreled with Az-Zubayr in the presence of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, about the Hara canals which were used for irrigating the date palms. The Ansari man said to Az-Zubayr, let the water pass, but Az-Zubayr refused to do so. So, the case was brought before the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who said to Az-Zubayr, O Zubayr, irrigate your land, and then let the water pass to your neighbor. On that, the Ansari got angry and said to the Prophet, is it because he, that is, Zubayr, is your aunt's son? On that, the color of the face of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, changed, because of anger, and he said, O Zubayr, irrigate your land, and then withhold the water till it reaches the walls between the pits round the trees. Zubayr said, by Allah, I think that the following verse was revealed on this occasion, but no, by your Lord they can have no faith until they make you judge in all disputes between them. Surah 4, Ayah 65. Hadith 9. Narrated Urwa, when a man from the Ansar quarreled with Az-Zubayr, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Zubayr, irrigate your land first and then let the water flow to the land of the others. On that, the Ansari said, to the Prophet, it is because he is your aunt's son. On that, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Zubayr, irrigate till the water reaches the walls between the pits around the trees and then stop, that is, let the water go to the other's land. I think the following verse was revealed concerning this event, but no, by your Lord they can have no faith until they make you judge in all disputes between them. Surah 4, Ayah 65. Hadith 10. Narrated Urwa bin Az-Zubayr, an Ansari man quarreled with Az-Zubayr about a canal in the Hara which was used for irrigating date palms. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, ordering Zubayr to be moderate, said, O Zubayr, irrigate your land first and then leave the water for your neighbor. The Ansari said, is it because he is your aunt's son? On that, the color of the face of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, changed and he said, O Zubayr, irrigate your land, and withhold the water till it reaches the walls that are between the pits around the trees. So, Allah's Apostle gave Zubayr his full right. Zubayr said, by Allah, the following verse was revealed in that connection, but no, by your Lord, they can have no faith until they make you judge in all disputes between them. Surah 4, Ayah 65. The sub-narrator, Ibn Shihab said to Jurayj, another sub-narrator, the Ansar and the other people interpreted the saying of the Prophet, irrigate your land, and withhold the water till it reaches the walls between the pits around the trees, as meaning up to the ankles. Hadith 11. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, while a man was walking, he felt thirsty and went down a well and drank water from it. On coming out of it, he saw a dog panting and eating mud because of excessive thirst. The man said, this dog is suffering from the same problem as that of mine. So he went down the well, filled his shoe with water, caught hold of it with his teeth and climbed up and watered the dog. Allah thanked him for his good deed and forgave him. The people asked, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, is there a reward for us in serving the animals? He replied, yes, there is a reward for serving any animate. Hadith 12. Narrated Asmā bint Abi Bakr, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, prayed the eclipse prayer, and then said, hell was displayed so close that I said, O my Lord, am I going to be one of its inhabitants? Suddenly he saw a woman. I think he said, who was being scratched by a cat. He said, what is wrong with her? He was told, she had imprisoned it, that is, the cat, till it died of hunger. Hadith 13. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, a woman was tortured and was put in hell because of a cat which she had kept locked till it died of hunger. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, further said, Allah knows better. Allah said, to the woman, you neither fed it nor watered when you locked it up, nor did you set it free to eat the vermin of the earth. Hadīth 14. Narrated Sahal bin Sa'd, once a tumbler, full of milk or water, was brought to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, who drank from it, while on his right side there was sitting a boy who was the youngest of those who were present, and on his left side there were old men. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked, O boy, do you allow me to give the drink to the elder people first? The boy said, I will not prefer anybody to have my share from you, O Allah's Apostle. So, he gave it to the boy. Hadīth 15. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, by him in whose hands my soul is, I will drive some people out from my sacred fount on the day of resurrection as strange camels are expelled from a private trough. Hadīth 16. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, may Allah be merciful to the mother of Ishmael. If she had left the water of Zamzam, fountain, as it was, without constructing a basin for keeping the water, or said, if she had not taken handfuls of its water, it would have been a flowing stream. Jurhum, an Arab tribe, came and asked her, may we settle at your dwelling? She said, yes, but you have no right to possess the water. They agreed. Hadīth 17. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there are 3 types of people whom Allah will neither talk to, nor look at, on the day of resurrection. They are, 1, a man who takes an oath falsely that he has been offered for his goods so much more than what he is given. 2, a man who takes a false oath after the Asr prayer in order to grab a Muslim's property, and 3, a man who withholds his superfluous water. Allah will say to him, today I will withhold my grace from you as you withheld the superfluity of what you had not created. Hadīth 18. Narrated As-Sa'b bin Jathama, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, no Hima except for Allah and his Apostle. We have been told that Allah's Apostle made a place called An-Nakiya as Hima, and Umar made As-Saraf and Ar-Rabada Hima, for grazing the animals of Zakat. Hadīth 19. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, keeping horses may be a source of reward to some man, a shelter to another, that is, means of earning one's living, or a burden to a third. He to whom the horse will be a source of reward is the one who keeps it in Allah's cause, prepare it for holy battles, and ties it by a long rope in a pasture, or a garden. He will get a reward equal to what its long rope allows it to eat in the pasture or the garden, and if that horse breaks its rope and crosses 1 or 2 hills, then all its footsteps and its dung will be counted as good deeds for its owner, and if it passes by a river and drinks from it, then that will also be regarded as a good deed for its owner even if he has had no intention of watering it then. Horses are a shelter from poverty to the second person who keeps horses for earning his living so as not to ask others, and at the same time he gives Allah's right, that is, zakat, from the wealth he earns through using them in trading etc., and does not overburden them. He who keeps horses just out of pride and for showing off and as a means of harming the Muslims, his horses will be a source of sins to him. When Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, was asked about donkeys, he replied, nothing particular was revealed to me regarding them except the general unique verse which is applicable to everything. Whoever does goodness equal to the weight of an atom, or small ant, shall see it, its reward, on the day of resurrection. Hadīth 20. Narrated Zayd bin Khalid, a man came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and asked about ulukata, a fallen thing. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, recognize its container and its tying material and then make a public announcement about it for 1 year, and if its owner shows up, give it to him, otherwise use it as you like. The man said, what about a lost sheep? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, it is for you, your brother or the wolf. The man said, what about a lost camel? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, why should you take it as it has got its water container, its stomach, and its hooves, and it can reach the places of water and can eat the trees till its owner finds it. Hadith 21. Narrated as Zubayr bin al-Awwam, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, no doubt, one had better take a rope, and cut, and tie a bundle of wood and sell it, whereby Allah will keep his face away from hellfire, rather than ask others who may give him or not. Hadith 22. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, no doubt, you had better gather a bundle of wood and carry it on your back, and earn your living thereby, rather than ask somebody who may give you or not. Hadith 23. Narrated Husayn bin Ali bin Abi Talib said, I got a she-camel as my share of the war booty on the day of the battle of Badr, and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, gave me another she-camel. I let both of them kneel at the door of one of the Ansar, intending to carry it kir on them to sell it and use its price for my wedding banquet on marrying Fatima. A goldsmith from Bani Qaynuqa was with me. Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib was in that house drinking wine, and a lady singer was reciting, O Hamza, kill the 2 fat old she-camels, and serve them to your guests. So Hamza took his sword and went towards the 2 she-camels and cut off their humps and opened their flanks and took a part of their livers. I said to Ibn Shihab, did he take part of the humps? He replied, he cut off their humps and carried them away. Ali further said, when I saw that dreadful sight, I went to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and told him the news. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came out in the company of Zayd bin Haritha, who was with him then, and I too went with them. He went to Hamza and spoke harshly to him. Hamza looked up and said, aren't you only the slaves of my forefathers? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, retreated and went out. This incident happened before the prohibition of drinking. Hadith 24. Narrated Anas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, decided to grant a portion of the uncultivated land of Bahrain to the Ansar. The Ansar said, we will not accept it, till you give a similar portion to our emigrant brothers, from Quraysh. He said, O Ansar, you will soon see people giving preference to others, so remain patient till you meet me, on the day of resurrection. Hadith 25. Narrated Anas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, called the Ansar so as to grant them a portion of the land of Bahrain. They said, O Allah's Messenger, if you grant this to us, write a similar document on our Quraysh, emigrant, brothers. But the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not have enough grants, and he said, after me you will see the people giving preference to others, so be patient till you meet me. Hadith 26. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, one of the rights of a she-camel is that it should be milked at a place of water. Hadith 27. Narrated Abdullāh, I heard the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, say, if somebody buys date palms after they have been pollinated, the fruits will belong to the seller unless the buyer stipulates the contrary. If somebody buys a slave having some property, the property will belong to the seller unless the buyer stipulate that it should belong to him. Hadith 28. Narrated Zayd bin Thabit, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, permitted selling the dates of the araya for ready dates by estimating the amount of the former, as they are still on the trees. Hadith 29. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, forbade the sales called al-Mukabara, al-Muhakala and al-Muzabana and the selling of fruits till they are free from blights. He forbade the selling of the fruits except for money, except the araya. Hadith 30. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, allowed the sale of the dates of the araya for ready dates by estimating the former, which should be estimated as less than 5 suk or 5 suk. Dawood, the sub-narrator, is not sure as to the right amount. Hadith 31. Narrated Rafi bin Khadij and Sahal bin Abi Huthma, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, forbade the sale of muzabana, that is, selling of fruits for fruits, except in the case of araya. He allowed the owners of araya such kind of sale.